Trey wasn't exactly a fan of homework. Shocker, right? Who is? But Trey had a unique way of looking at things. He saw his life as a video game. School was this big, boring level he had to beat. Homework? Those were just side quests. Now in video games, side quests are optional. Not doing them might mean missing out on some cool loot or experience points. But Trey figured he had enough experience points, from acing video games, obviously. He could skip a few side quests, so he decided to get creative with his maths homework. See, Trey was failing maths. Big time. His last test score looked like a temperature in Antarctica. He needed a miracle. Or, a cheat code. He stared at the worksheet, his arch nemesis, covered in equations that looked like hieroglyphics. Trey squeezed his eyes shut. He wished, really, really wished he could just absorb the knowledge from the paper. Like some kind of brain-boosting power-up. And that's when it hit him, an idea so crazy, so ridiculous, it just might work. Trey grabbed his maths worksheet. He looked around, making sure his mom wasn't nearby. His heart pounded. This was it. He crumpled the worksheet into a ball. He took a deep breath and chomped down. The paper tasted like, paper. Dry, bland, and a little bit like regret. But Trey was determined. He munched on the equations like they were crisps. He imagined each number giving him superpowers. Division became his shield. Fractions, his weapon.
Dude, what are you doing?
Trey, with bits of worksheet stuck to his cheek, mumbled, Trey, I'm, eating my homework. Rhea just stared at him. Sometimes she wondered why she was friends with him. Actually, scratch that. She wondered that all the time.
You're eating your homework? That's the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard. And trust me, I've heard you say some pretty ridiculous things.
Trey shot back, wiping crumbs from his shirt. Trey, hey, it's not any weirder than that time you tried to convince everyone you were a long-lost princess from a tiny European country.
That was completely different, and I totally pulled it off.
The bell rang, signaling the start of maths class. This was it. The moment of truth. Trey swaggered into class, feeling strangely confident. Mr. Jones, their maths teacher, looked like he'd swallowed a lemon when he saw Trey. He pointed at the empty space on Trey's desk.
Trey, where's your homework?
Trey shrugged. Trey, I ate it, sir. The class erupted in laughter. Mr. Jones looked like he was about to explode.
Silence. Eating your homework is not an excuse, young man.
Mr. Finkelmeyer roared, regaining control of the class. He turned back to Trey and wrote a problem on the board, a particularly nasty-looking algebra equation.
Since you seem to think you can absorb knowledge by consumption, why don't you solve this for us?
His voice dripped with sarcasm. The class held its breath. Everyone knew Trey was doomed, except Trey. He felt a strange sense of calm. He looked at the equation, and the answer just popped into his head.
X equals -3.
Trey announced. The class gasped. Mr. Finkelmeyer stared at him, his mouth open. He checked the problem again.
That's correct.
He stammered. A wave of whispers swept through the classroom. Whispers quickly turned into excited chatter. Trey, the boy who thought pie was a type of dessert, had just solved an impossible equation. News of Trey's miracle spread through the school faster than a dropped slice of pizza in the cafeteria. He became a legend. The human calculator, they called him. Students lined up to witness his powers. They'd shove worksheets in his face, begging him to eat them. Some even offered him their lunch money. The school went bonkers. Teachers were freaking out. Parents were calling the principal, demanding answers, and maybe some tips for their own struggling kids. The principal, a stern woman who always wore a brooch shaped like the state of Texas, was not amused. She called an emergency assembly.
There will be no more chewing of homework. It is unsanitary, disruptive, and frankly ridiculous.
A collective groan echoed through the assembly hall. Trey slumped in his seat. His reign as the human calculator was over.